That's crazy. That could totally work. Say hi to Peter. Peter's from the Australia, but people often correct me because they say New Zealand, but in my Canadian brain, they're both the same.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, they sound completely different.
What are you talking about? Me, Peter. You ever talk to Peter?
I have not, but they sound completely different.
Where did you live?
I spent some time in Sydney and then Melbourne and then most of the time on the Gold Coast. So I was up on Port Douglas, where no one wears shoes.
Oh.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Port Douglas is in my state, I believe. Or maybe up north, I think. Western Australia. How are you on? You assigned?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Doing good. A great morning. Having some coffee.
He's the assigned was the guy with the farm and the kids.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, on the call. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's everything this morning, guys?
Yeah, we're just chilling.
We're
I'm making videos. I'm doing about like 30 to 45 minutes of a day of video. Maybe I should do it like that. Like instead of having like a goal for the amount of labs I do, I should have like a goal for the amount of minutes I export. Maybe that's a more functional metric.
Probably.
That's it.
I just want to quickly highlight that I was wrong. In the first 5 minutes I'm here. Port Douglas is not in my state, it is in Queensland. I'm an idiot. There's too many different port-type cities in this fucking country.
Yeah, this guy's not even from Australia.
Oh my god!
He does a fucking ringer.
Got you.
You're British, aren't you? You asshole! It's like a spy who doesn't know the geography.
Have you been sneaky?
I knew it. You're always trying to fit in.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
That's what I get for being a cave dweller here in WA, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think we get along because we're both English exiles. Like, I'm an English exile in Canada, and technically, like Guyanese people are exiles from Punjab, right? Which is owned by British and French Commonwealth. It's crazy when you think about the connections.
I'm about to blow your mind. I'm not I'm a first-gen Australian. I'm not one of the British exports.
Oh shit, he's still there. He's a mainlander.
No, I'm from my parents are from Poland, so I'm Polish.
Oh.
Paul Zealand.
This guy.
Paul Zealand sounds like a porn star.
Why do you keep going back to New Zealand? He said he's from Australia.
Yeah, but as someone in North America, we have to be ethnocentric.
So you call it Oceanus, do you not?
Yeah, I think Australia is part of Oceania. Yeah, you're a fellow Oceanian.
Or the Australasias.
Yeah, the Australasia.
Australasia,
yeah. You nerds.
I think I really don't want to get this wrong, but I think the Aboriginal or the Indigenous folk here are actually related to the Asian continent folk.
Yeah, you are.
All the Indigenous.
I got tons of Polynesian blood all up and in me, apparently. Yeah, Samoan.
Polynesian means many Asian.
Oh, I hate you.
How racist the English language is.
You're so stupid.
You poly-Asian?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, unclean blood.
Samoan and Tongan.
Man, you're like...
Samoan and Tongan.
Fucking unclean blood.
You shut the fuck up. You love this beautiful brown skin. I look like Pele.
One thing I will say about all the different types of Polynesians, they're all very, very proud of being it. So
I'm just wondering,
exactly the same.
You know how there's privileged communications between spice, right?
Spice.
Right, what's a privileged spouse? Spouse shy.
I like spouse shy.
Spouse shy. You're
a spouse shy.
So you know how there's privileged communication that exists between spouse shy, right? You think there's like privileged like racism that exists where like we could be racist towards each other because we decide to be with each other? So we know that it's true, right? That should work, right?
Absolutely.
It happens among friends all the time, doesn't it?
Well, I would argue among real friends.
Are
Yeah,
you
that's
just
what I mean.
like a
That's a
crowd?
fact. You have to be a real friend to argue with that one.
Hey, am I just trying to what?
Well, get your friends to let you be racist against me. Like everything is because I'm Asian.
It's
and
racist with you.
racist with me. I see.
This is a great start to a recorded conversation, hey?
Well, now you know why the red dot's at the top.
Oh my god!
You thought it was recording. It was a flag.
Fucking Hindu dot.
Oh shit!
I can say that because he's Hindu.
How dare you?
Flashing.
I'm offended and autistic, which means I don't know how to be offended and productive at the same time.
Well, I mean, if we're going that route, I can also say pull the autistic card.
Huh? Damn it.
Yeah, you can't.
Neutralized.
You can't pull the autistic card on me.
Forces neutralized. No, but I was talking to Mello about this, about how like autistic people have a problem understanding that people have an emotional reaction to the truth. And I said, and autisms, can I call them that? Autisms? Is that the correct term? Those living with autism. Yeah, those people from Auckland, you said?
Oh my god! What's all this New Zealand hate all of a sudden?
I don't know which one is. So I don't know who I'm hating. I'm just naming things.
New Zealand.
Yeah, I'm just naming the random words I don't know.
Realizing that. Anyways, continue, my love.
So the challenge is people who are autistic don't have the emotional intelligence to deal with the situation where their truth is called out as mythology.
Yeah, I've definitely witnessed or hear stories about it. And I've known people who have been on the spectrum that are like very, very functional people. I'm not talking like really deep down the spectrum, but like still just at that level of not really having the social read on those kind of things and the response. So it's interesting to see it.
Yeah, how much of autism is just really, 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 really bad social skills?
That's a good question. It's like the thing is, the spectrum is that deep. Like my sister.
Welcome to the last episode of the Syndicate before we get kicked off of Twitter Spaces. That's right, the last episode.
How to get cancelled 101.
Yeah,
Series by the Syndicate.
It's funny because autism people find it hard to lobby because they can't focus.
Oh, dear man. But no, like so
called base because both of us are on the spectrum.
Base. Yeah, base.
You can't cancel us. Base. We're both on the spectrum.
Immunity.
base, yeah.
We have immunity.
There's no cancel culture when you are the culture.
Yeah, for real, dude. It runs in my family for sure. Like, my sister's pretty like heavily on the spectrum, and my brothers show signs of being like towards the upper or lower end of the spectrum, whichever one you want to put it. Yeah, the lesser sort of like less affected by it side. Myself, I don't really know where the fuck I sit on it. I just sort of like.
What if the spectrum was? What if the spectrum was just the normal distribution?
Oh shit! It just feels that way sometimes. I meet people who are like, it's like that with the ADHD stuff as well. Because I've been diagnosed with ADHD, and it's still kind of like there are moments where I'm like, nah, that's bullshit. Like everyone's ADHD as fuck. But then, I'll go and make a coffee, and I'll forget that I've been making a coffee. I'll suddenly end up in another room like half an hour later. And I'm like, wait, wasn't I making a coffee?
Yeah, that's me.
So it's I don't know. It's hard.
Every test that you've ever taken and you were stoned.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty much how I took every test I've ever taken. So. I even took my drug and alcohol test while I was stoned. No.
Fucking nice.
I was able to focus better.
No, in all honesty though, when I started this job I was in, I was smoking regularly for like months beforehand, and I had like a week to get clean just for the piss test, and I still pulled through somehow. I was like, they sprung it on me. I'm like, yeah, I'll do the test, you know, like just trying to be confident. And the real scary part was on the day, I wasn't worried about whether I passed the weed part, but whether I was too fucking hungover and still had alcohol in my system and was about to fucking blow over the limit. Total degen tales.
So here's my challenge right now. I'm in charge of editing videos. We've hired a video editor to be a part of the media company in Ghana. And they're moving into a studio today, actually. Or yesterday, I can't remember. Now, the only challenge is data transfer. Because these files are, you know, each video file might be anywhere from 4 to 12 gigabytes.
Put it on a hard drive and send it over. It's going to be much quicker.
That would be the only alternative.
The
Right
mail
now.
takes a little longer, right?
Well, you understand. You know, let's wait 45 days unless we know
Right.
someone that's traveling down. The alternative would be for someone to travel down with the USB. That's a good point. I think you brought up a great point. Right?
That would probably be quicker, but then it comes down to the cost efficiency and the timeline that you want to achieve and all that
because
sort of stuff. I mean,
well, we know
the
people
upload.
that are traveling back and forth because, you know, we know the Ghanaian community, right? So we would be able to say, hey, anyone going to Ghana this week? Yeah, I'm going to Ghana this week. Okay, great. Here. This has some work for a video editor, and I'll meet you at the airport. Right?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a courier service.
Yeah, the challenge is not with the courier service, it's unlocking things from the port that becomes hairy. Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
that's where the delays come in. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They stall everything that you're putting through there.
So I guess what I would say is that I could organize the files, put it on hard drive, and have that sent over within the week. And that would be much more affordable than trying to pay for 100 terabyte internet plan in Ghana.
I wonder what that cost.
Yeah, well, unless Starlink is ready, right? It's a bit prohibitive, right? Because imagine what happens if you're downloading stuff and your internet connection is intermittent, and now you have to start the 7 gig download again.
Ooh.
Right? It's one of those good problems. Don't get me wrong. You kidding me? There's a video editor? Thanks. Thanks, Roland. We're gonna get this done fast. And I was like, shit. How do I get 50 gigs to Ghana? Right? The future is here, just not that evenly distributed yet. So,
Don't they have like AI video editing stuff too?
well, I mean, it's yeah. Go ahead, Pete.
Sorry, if you can't get the data there, you could always run a virtual machine and remote access, right? I mean, it wouldn't be ideal, but it's another option that you could explore instead of having them.
That is very interesting. That is actually very, very interesting. Can you say more words? I'm gonna ask Chef about that.
Instead of delivering the data, they'd be using your hardware on a virtual machine, so they can't access your actual everything else. You install the software on the virtual machine, which could take a little bit of time, I know, but you spend a day doing it. You transfer the data over there, which is very quick. You give them access through remote access, and then they can just do the work with the files over the internet. I mean, instead of having to transfer all the data. The problem with that, of course, is it still relies on data streaming.
Yeah, right. So Pete was suggesting that we set up a virtual machine that the guy from Ghana can work on.
Ooh, that's a thing?
Apparently.
Fantastic.
There's even ways that you can split GPUs among multiple distributed machines for editing. That's
Syndicate's excellent.
yeah, right.
I guess I'm not just a woodbasher after all.
Yeah, right. He's not just a roof carpenter. I like that as the tagline. Peter,
Not just a roof carpenter.
he's also Polish. Yeah, yeah. Polish is his stripper name.
Wow. Like Madonna, just the one name, Polish.
Yeah, but it's like POLE-ISH.
No, you didn't have to spell out the joke.
Yeah.
I hate when you do that.
Polish.
Oh my god.
Right?
I'm gonna headbutt you.
It's like Blackish,
I'm gonna Zidane
but
your face.
Polish.
Just head to head.
You know how Blackish is about like light skin.
And then that's the way you start
Black
talking.
people?
And then it's
Polish
over.
is about
And then they don't have to
Kiwi
hear all of this
Poland
nonsense.
people. Poland people?
Still-
I like saying it when you say Poland people because it has 2 syllables each. Poland people.
You'll have an interesting dynamic.
What accent was that?
Huh?
What accent was that?
Which one?
Poland people.
Yeah, it's like a Cockney accent.
Ah.
Yeah.
I was like, what was he going for there?
Polish people. But it's also Asian. Right? So it's an Asian living in England.
Ah.
At Chinkney.
Wow.
That might get us kicked off.
That was
Yeah.
wow. But I have squinty eyes, so you can't base
Yeah, see, you said something worse.
my
But if
squinty
you
eyes.
say it's
Yeah.
your
Squinty
opinion,
eyes is worse
if you
than
say it's
chinky?
your-
No, but like
your
the thing is
opinion,
like
it can't throw you off, right?
for you to wash me in your skin tone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have to go farther than what I said,
Oh.
right? Because as long as you go farther than what I said, that means you accept the improv. Does that make sense? Like you accept.
Oh, so I have to say something like ching chong ping pong and then it's all good base.
Yeah, base, exactly.
Okay. Okay, I get it.
Because one of the major goals of the Syndicate, I didn't tell anyone this, one of the major goals of the Syndicate is to do away with this mythology of certain people being racist and other people not being racist. My hypothesis is that everyone is racist.
Yeah.
And by suppressing it, it's actually making them
Absolutely.
more
Everyone
racist.
is racist. Get in traffic.
Let it just be
If you're in
known that I do
traffic,
not hold the same view as the host of this channel.
I think
In case
The
anyone's
opinion
listening
of
in.
Peter does not necessarily reflect that of the other.
you guys don't think everybody's racist in traffic. Suddenly, just fucking suddenly, you're like
Dude,
racist.
no, dude, I have to agree. That's such a bad take, but
And
it's
you
so
don't even
true.
mean to. You don't even mean to. You can just be racist against your own race. Be like, you fucking. Oh God, not me. That was
But
me.
even like sexist. I mean,
Yes.
I try
and
not to
old
be,
people.
but like, it's always fucking old ladies or Chinese.
Yes. What is that? What is that hate for the elderly called? It's not racist, but that exists in traffic bad.
Here's the thing.
Disdain,
Here's the thing.
ageism, elder
We,
abuse.
we're just gonna
Millennial.
explore the algorithm because I clipped that.
Oh my god.
Fuck, dude.
I like it.
Okay,
Sure.
in all honesty,
I like it.
though.
I like it. Look,
I think that everyone is racist in traffic, though. Honestly, man, and you don't mean to.
well, here's the
It's just a
thing.
natural.
It's a hypothesis, I believe, that would be interesting to test in a clinical environment.
Well, is there such thing as racist driving? Because I swear that like Mexicans out here in Oregon, and I can speak for it because I am a black and Mexican Indian man. They will never go over the speed limit, not one fucking mile over. They don't care about the pace, but you know when you run up on one because they're scared to death, and they all have on the traffic worker yellow. They won't go over the fucking speed limit. It's scary. But you get racist and you're like, I think that's a Mexican because he's way doing the speed limit. Right?
That's an interesting take. Hey, to be fair, your country is pretty fucking racist. Just
Oh, yeah.
systematically.
Yeah, we didn't mean to. We were born this way. What did we do to those Indians? Jeez.
Yeah, we're a product of our environment. I mean, like, technically, like,
Well, the tough thing is that, like, for the whole driving, we have certain rules in our own countries, and then when we immigrate, we take those rules with us, and don't necessarily know how to drive in the new country.
And plus, they had that thing in China where they switched the red and the red and the green lights to be more patriotic, and there was a bunch of car crashes. You ever heard about that? I swear to God, they they tried to be more patriotic. They tried to make red go and green stop to be more nationalist, and people just got in a lot of car accidents.
Far too progressive.
Far too progressive. You're an asshole, dude. Now we're really gonna get canceled.
Oh man!
Right? Like, you can make fun of people with autism, but people that are progressive, they're really gonna come after you.
Well, just the systematic, like you guys are saying, it's the systematic racism that traffic is programmed with in America.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's almost like you get people to fight with each other by, like, pointing out their straw men on both sides, even though they're on the same side. It's kind of elegant when you think about it. It's dark. It's elegant.
Well, I just think that we could do away with vehicular racism if we just, put no car could go over 50. Why do they keep giving us more miles per hour on our vehicles or kilometers? And you know what your sign says. It's, and we could all relax. We'd be like, he can't go fast. I can't go fast.
What is more American than my ability to incur and pay a ticket?
I don't know.
All right.
That's the real deal.
That's my freedom. You're treading on.
In Canada, so where you guys are at, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you let's just say you're going. Will your cops pull you over for going 10 miles an hour and give you the ticket, or how does that work?
I mean, there are quotas everywhere, right?
Okay.
So situational.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think the difference between Canada and America, my professor told me about it. I'll put it to the top. He said that in the American charter, it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And with Canada, it's peace, order, and good government.
Right.
Right. So he used the example of So he used the example of, like, in Canada you can't smoke with children in the car, right? And he's like I understand the reason for that, but you'll see the video, right? In Canada, it's like, make sure you got your motorcycle helmet. Make sure you got your this. Make sure you got your card. Make sure you, right?
Sounds like you care.
Care can become babysitting very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
You understand, right?
Let me walk, motherfucker. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What is the optimal amount of struggle inherent for society's success? Hey, that's too much. Sorry.
That was crazy.
Yeah, so I think that would be a better metric, because every day it's like, when you're creating video, you're kind of always behind, right? And because I'm a perfectionist, I want everything to be pixel perfect. I have to have, if I put things in certain places, they need to be in the same place every time, right? By the pixel. So how long is this? I did 5:36. That is 14, 20, 30. So I did about 40 minutes of video yesterday. It's a lot. On the phone.
That's a movie.
Yeah, basically. It's like a movie every day.
That's
A
above a
technical
short.
movie.
You know what I mean? That's a
Yeah,
movie.
it's doing a technical movie every day.
Oh.
But that's why we got the M2, because the M2 can kick out this movie fast. Like, dude, I can export like 1.5 gigs of data. Of video, which is like 8 minutes, right? Of high res in like 3 minutes, 4 minutes max. It used to be like half an hour or an hour. Now I'm measuring it in seconds. So, shout out to the people at Mac and the M2, because this thing renders video like nothing I've ever seen. It completely flipped the game. What do you mean it takes less time to render than the length of the actual video? You're telling me the video is 10 minutes and it's rendering in 90 seconds? What are you talking about? Completely changed everything.
Filmmaking is still going to be a time suck, though. There's no way around that. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now I'm trying to transition from the person who does the videos to the person who creates the design patterns for the videos. Right? So
Yeah.
I'll do like the creative brief and the high level stuff. And then with the media company in Ghana, we have the video editors that can take what's a soft 0 to 1 to 1 to N. All right. So this is how I did the first 3. Your job, should you choose to accept it, is to do the next 17.
Yeah. Well done. I wouldn't go near a video, because I just can't imagine the work involved. Just like, oh my God, there's so many.
It is. If you're like OCD like me,
Yeah.
who can't stand things being different if they're supposed to be standard, right? Like I'm talking about, like I'm going like micro fractions of a second, right? I'm going to as deep the milliseconds will allow me to go, right? As deep to the pixels I'm trying to go, because I want everything to be the same, because it's a technical manual. It's a video technical manual for network cabling. So to me, it has to be, if they can't do this at home, then I've failed, and I don't want to fail. So I'm making sure that everything is in its place, the lower thirds and the table of contents, and But we've tested. Yeah, go ahead.
There's only one profession worse paid than video editor, and that's comic strip artists. But
and that's why we have a relationship where we have ownership in the company, because I would never do this for money.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean,
no way.
Yeah, I don't do comic books for a reason. I mean,
it's like
those people though. I know a few of them. They're perfectly happy not having a life at all. They're happy never going outside. They're happy never talking to another person. I mean, they're very intense in their thing,
And to be honest with you, I'm kind of like that. But I like this together alone thing that we have here on Twitter Spaces. It allows me to have coworkers, even though I'm working alone.
Yeah.
In a way, I like you guys as my coworkers.
Yeah.
I hope you're not offended.
Oh, I'm digging Peter Peterson's little trippy animation he just posted on Twitter.
Peter's on another level. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the video editing and stuff, like when I did the project, the one that still hasn't dropped yet because it's maybe in their pipeline, maybe not, I don't know, whatever. I was doing a lot of rotoscoping, and it was like frame to frame, like dialing in as much deeper as I could. And it just got to a point where I had to accept that it's not going to be perfect. And if I try and push too hard, I'm probably just going to overcook it, and it's going to look worse than it already does.
That one you posted 14 hours ago, how long did that take you to make? That's literally trippy. That's very literally trippy.
14 hours ago. Which one was this?
It's a fractal kind of. I've got some good times today, and for some work I need to do that I've been neglecting to touch. But hopefully this weekend yield some great content on both fronts. And then it's you're kind of diving down into this. It's kind of green and brown, kind of fractal.
Yeah.
Levels of
Man,
rules.
Can you imagine?
That was not a long run. That only took this stuff like a few hours to run,
Can you imagine the art that would be created if Hugh and Peter ever joined forces? Oh my God.
Oh.
I mean, look, I'd love to do like satire stuff. I don't want the flack. Like, not yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. You know,
It's like if only everyone had my sense of humor, right? Then it'd be fine. Some people just don't, dude.
Well, the rule of thumb is speaking the truth unleashes the hounds. You know, you say anything truthful, you'll just have all kinds of people coming after you, even if it's not really mean.
Like that thing with the I feel you on that, but like the thing with the Joe Biden image when I woke up this morning and who was it that was in the chat who was talking about it? I'm like, I got to see that because I want to run a diffusion on it. I want to just fuck around with it and turn it into something else. And I was sort of like, how the fuck is that even allowed in the first place? Like, who gave that the go ahead?
You talking about
like, are you guys serious?
The Emperor Palpatine red photograph of Joe Biden?
Yeah. Like, why was that even allowed, dude?
Yeah, I mean, talk about optics, you know.
Great design, but just context is so fucking like bizarre. Like, read the room, guys. I don't know. It's.
What was the name of the order in Star Wars? The latest Star Wars movies? The not the Holy Order, but the New Order. Sorry, what replaced the Empire?
Man.
What was it called? Star Wars people, help me. I can't remember.
I wish I remembered.
I've never watched
They basically use a similar kind of red and black lighting, basically, to the baddies in the Star Wars franchise. You know, the baddies are using that same lighting design, which is.
Yeah, I mean, it indicates indicates things like war and anger and hate and all that sort of stuff, right? Like that's the whole color theory.
Yeah.
And then you got this shot that's from like a low angle, so it's sort of like, you know, as if he's above you, and the sort of pose he's in as well. It's like, how the fuck was that allowed to be run anywhere in good faith?
Yeah.
Whoever like the editors are, or whoever like set it up and designed it, like, I don't know how it got that far, and yet. You know, it's like all I want to do is just fuck with it and just make a joke out of it.
Yeah, you pick your enemies carefully.
Yeah, I know, but you know, come on.
Pick your battles carefully, as I say. I'm
Anyway. I'll take your word on it because I do know that if you pick your the enemy's wrong, so to speak, you can really land you in a lot of fucking shit. So.
Yeah, well, you know, they always say a man cannot be too careful in the selection of his enemies, or not. Actually, I know a better one. It says. Friendships are temporary, but enemies forever. I like that as well.
People really don't like letting go of grudges, do they?
No, they'll hang on to them like their children.
Meanwhile, I feel like someone like yourself, someone like myself, you know, we might hold a grudge for 5 minutes and then we go, fuck it, whatever, it's not worth it.
I don't know. There's some things I don't know. I mean, it's weird. I mean, they're evolutionary. They're evolutionary reasons why we hold on to bad memories more than good memories. You know, because, you know, remembering not to go to where those lions are is a better memory than a happy sunset. Probably more useful in evolutionary terms. You know, bad memories keep us alive longer than good memories. You know,
yeah, I feel that.
What?
I'm sorry, I was just saying, I feel that.
Yeah, you know, regrets are there for a reason because we don't make the same mistake again. You know. They burn into our soul, so we don't do it again, basically.
Don't we? I do the same mistakes all the fucking time. I never learn.
All right. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but, I mean, generally, but, you know, well, there's that too as well, but.
I had a friend that said that he found himself running up against the same obstacle until he figured out a different way to deal with it.
Yeah.
I feel that. I think I was saying this in this space last night, but it's sort of like I came to the realization that the only real obstacle is myself. Like, it's just been me standing my own way and making excuses and fucking all this bullshit. It's just me. It's not a bad thing. It's just like, when I came to that realization, it was like, you fucking idiot. Like, there's like all the other stuff, it's all compounded complexities on top of that. And the more I buy into them, the more I'm buying into my own bullshit.
Yeah.
So when I realized that, it was kind of like, yeah, cool. So I actually have more powers than I think I do.
Yeah. My trouble is, you know, even if you come up with a new better, improved you, it's still a shitty version of you. There's no winning. There's no final victory.
Yeah. I thought a few years ago be like, so hold on, I'm just this person now?
Yeah.
Do you mean
Oh my god.
Like
a shitty
I'm just
version
this guy?
of yourself?
But I think it's like give me a child until he's 8 and I'll give you the man.
Yeah, Rudyard Kipling.
Yeah.
Well, that's one reason I like to go to church, just to kind of pray for my sins. I say, "Oh, thank you, please forgive my sins, God. Good Lord, I could use it. I can really use the forgiveness of my sins right now."
But we got to be able to forgive ourselves, and that's the fundamental teaching that we all miss.
Yeah, that's Peter's point, right? Are we asking for the ability to forgive ourselves?
I think it's easier to forgive yourself if you think God's forgiven you first.
Yes, exactly. Because if he or she or it or the mystery forgives you, then you can forgive yourself knowing that you are in union with God's opinion.
Exactly. Whereas to forgive yourself knowing that God is still testing you is much more difficult. You know, when you know, I always think that it's a weird thing because I was very close to my grandfather, so I always kind of have this idea that, well, I can't do that because Grandpa won't approve. I've been like that ever since he died. Well, Grandpa wouldn't approve of this. I better not do it. And that's kind of like a kind of God
Grandpa,
substitute, grandfather deity, I suppose.
well, I mean, they have ancestor worship, right, in Asia.
Yeah, exactly.
Grandpa driven.
Same idea.
Right, and like in Philadelphia, they have a statue of Sylvester Stallone as Rocky.
Yeah.
So that's like the collective grandpa.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. What would Grandpa do? What would Rocky say? Yeah.
He would get back up off the floor and get knocked out again, and then have a sequel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
How does that apply?
Yeah.
We have to have a failed prototype where we get our teeth knocked in, and only when we have our teeth knocked in can we truly find out if we really want to do this.
Or
Other
other great moral kind of fictional characters from you, like Gandalf the Wizard or Atticus Finch. You know, great moral character, great moral archetypes, I guess, moral archetypes. You know.
Yeah, I remember reading that the legend of Bagger Vance was based on the Bhagavad Gita.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
You can look it up. Yeah, you said it in an interview.
Oh, really? 'Cause that movie's been on my must-watch list for a while.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good movie.
I haven't seen it. I was just reading it up because when I started writing a book, when you start writing, at least for me, when I started writing a book, I was like, all right, so what are the other books out there, and what do they look like? What do they feel like? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I came across that one because eventually, if you write enough, you'll be confronted with Joseph Campbell and go back to Samaria with Enkidu and friend. You know what I mean? Like, that's like an intermediary. When you find that, you're like, oh, I have the secret of writing. And then you try to use it, and it's like, this is harder to use than I thought.
Well, yeah. I always like.
I really like.
I'm listening.
Sorry, man. I really like the idea of archetypes, however you pronounce it. Because I feel like we all
are architecture. Archetypes is story.
I've got to go back to work. I'll see you guys later.
Okay, no worries. I love.
No worries. Take care, man. But the thing about archetypes is like we all embody them in our lives in some way or another, and we all sort of lean into one or another more than others. I've always liked this one that I call the Cosmic Jester, and I'm a bit sad that old mate's gone now because that's what it's.
The Joker never lies in Shakespeare.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like you might be a little. He might
be a fucking weirdo, but he never lies.
There's always truth to what they say. There's always some kind of thing there that you can learn from. And it's just, at the same time, they'll give it to you in a way that's kind of like, you fucking idiot. I don't know, it's hard to explain.
No, there's two people who can make fun of the king, the queen, and the Joker.
But to embody that, you have to really be a likable person. You can't just be like, someone that's like.
There's a difference between a comedian and a clown.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, right? Anyone can be a clown. I mean, I'm a fucking clown, but the nature of good comedy is sort of it can be offensive, and yet it gets away with it. It can be the most offensive thing in the world, but somehow, because of the truth that's laid within it and the message that comes with it, it just gets away with the most absurd bullshit.
Well, there's three ways to express any construct: through the Joker, through the logician, and through the artist. Right? So it's just a perspective on truth.
I think the comedian is always using the truth, whereas a clown uses, like a horn or some added,
Yeah,
gimmick.
yes, it's more gimmicky. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It
So, like, did
involves
you guys
props.
hear what Ari Spears was just saying? I heard a cool thing he just said. Well, he kind of body shamed Lizzo, and was like, hey, you look like horrible. I can't remember what he said. Basically,
Look,
like some crazy
he said
shit.
mashed potatoes.
Right. Okay. Right. So, with that being said, that's his opinion, and it's comedy to an extent of the truth that she is a bigger woman. And is it, it's a fact. She's a BBW, which is not a problem. You know what I'm saying? Man, like a thick woman, you know what I mean? But it's more so whose truth is it, the mashed potato point? Who took that to be like funny? You know what I mean? I guess.
Well, I mean, they say every joke has a victim, right? It's something that these things are known to comedians, right? But this was an inevitability when we started trying to police speech, right? When we tried to force people into wearing a straitjacket, we found them going insane.
I have an unrelated random.
What's going on?
Assassin.
Good morning.
Buenos dias. Buenos dias todos. Assassin, my question is for you. Do you know a person a lady in the Bay by the name of Hannah? Do you know people? Do you have
I'm really good with faces. I've traveled a lot.
Is your ex, the mother of your child, is she a white person?
Yeah. Well, she's white and Asian.
Oh, okay. Then it might not be. Okay. For a second, I thought I knew you.
And she doesn't live in the Bay.
No, not she. A friend of hers. I have a friend who's. Yeah, just for a second.
For a second, I thought, this guy's about to find out he has an ex-youth.
Yeah, no.
Nice.
Do you notice, girl? Because she
I
knows
get around,
you.
but
Yeah,
I get around.
and this guy's like, disconnected. What
Yeah,
happened to your
exactly.
sign? He just disappeared. He almost found out he had an ex-youth and he left.
I wouldn't dodge that bullet at all, ever. Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful for sure. I'd be like, what? You went to Sierra Nevada too? I love that festival.
What? Boys can still swim.
But I've been to a few festies. I've been down there.
You ever come down to the Bay?
Yeah, I used to love going down there. I used to live in Middletown in Clear Lake, and I had a house on the water up there.
By Harbin?
No, yeah, right up there, outside of Napa, right there by Calistoga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so do
There's
you
only one way into Calistoga in that road. That shitty when you come out of that mountain curve. That's right. On Clear Lake. I don't know. There's a
see
Lakeport, Lake County. I don't know.
now I'm thinking that it might still be you. What
Oh shit.
Should I go to the unrecorded space?
yeah, that's why I'm trying not to.
Melody, do you want to start a new
I
space
don't believe it.
where we
I don't
have a
believe it.
reverse 90-day fiance? You know what I mean? Like 90-day fiance, but like 5-year fiance where you didn't know you had the
I don't
fiance.
Right. Hannah.
2018, I think.
2018? No.
2018, 2019.
No, I bought my property up here. Well, I was back and forth there. I bought my property in Oregon in 2015.
Yeah.
But I had one. But I did, I mean, I frequent that area. I don't know. I've lived a crazy life. I'm not going to say anything until I figure it out. I mean, Lord willing, it's, I was responsible enough to, but I'm not a bad person, if that's what,
No, I'll wait till I'm not recorded and ask these questions.
Damn, you're going to do a whole background check on it?
Well, it's good that Casey's here because he's the financial expert.
Look, do you got to swab me or something? Send me a picture. Let me see the feet. Let me see the baby feet. Let me see the baby, because my brother, we got these toes. I can tell you right now what's going on.
It's like the hood. It's like the hood paternity test. Let me see your feet.
It is. Did you see? Boosie just went through the same thing where a woman went and rented a whole baby to come get that bread. So you got to be careful. She went and literally rented a baby. What up, Casey?
That's hilarious. That's horrifying, but it's funny.
So hold on. No,
What's
but
funny, the
seriously though.
fact I might have a mystery rando out here running around, or the fact that
Well,
I got to
we don't
the
know if it's
DNA test is
How do you know
look
it's not
clear.
randos? It could be twins. Malaby, do you want to start a different space so we can do the reverse 5-year fiance with the assigned? All right,
So that was actually my question. Wouldn't the opposite of 90-day fiance be 90-day divorcee, where you go into married couples' homes and try to get them to hate each other and
right the 90-day annulment?
Depending on the year, we might be talking about 15-year alimony.
Wait, do you know a little girl named Lulu?
Not at all.
The daughter of Hannah is Lulu.
Not at all.
Okay, all right.
Wait, Lulu with her little dog Stitch? It's all weird.
And
no,
Hannah doesn't ring a
Lulu.
bell. Hannah does not ring a bell at all.
Hannah. Her name is
Nope,
Hannah.
not at all. Not at all.
Hannah and Lulu. Okay, all right. Then we're good. But that
we're
yesterday.
Good. Look, did you guys hear how she finalized? We're good. Like there was a hit out on me. She's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we're good. Oh, we're good."
Melody doesn't even give a shit about the Syndicate. She's like, "Yo, I think I recognize his voice.
Good.
You recognize his voice?
Find that ass."
Remember that time during that date with those people at that place?
Right.
Look,
I was gonna. It's recorded, so I couldn't tell him the scene of where I possibly met him.
Well, this is why I think we really need to start this unrecorded space. But I don't want to blow up. And all jokes aside, I don't want to. Can you imagine the Syndicate? It was like, yeah, we got people. We got people investment, and then we got people found. Oh no, like that's like the reverse case study, or maybe it's the most. Look, it could be the most positive case study because now you know that.
Who's my baby daddy? Where's that baby daddy? Where's that baby daddy?
I think the best shows are unrecorded. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Hi. Welcome to the Syndicate. Are you looking to make investments or find family?
The latter.
23
And the
So,
former.
so Allie, check this out. So Melody starts doing like a soft interrogation of the assigned. I'm making up a story here. It's not exactly true. So Melody starts doing a
Oh, that
soft
was the
interrogation.
truth. What you mean? She asked me the whole night.
I
Like,
couldn't say it, but you can say it, right? So
she went deep.
Melody starts doing a soft interrogation of the assigned, saying, "Hey, how long is your middle finger? And do you have a mark on your right toe?" And we're like, "I wonder why she's asking." And potentially there is the assigned may have an unassigned, let's say. And so now what we have to do is transition to Melody's hosted space, where she's going to co-host with the assigned, and he's going to find out about the next 25 years of his life, which could be the same, but could be different. And it's all a blessing either way. Allie's speechless and has her mouth open. What do you say, Allie? She still has her mouth
Papa
open.
was a rolling stone.
What? What do you think?
Allie has her mouth open.
Yeah.
The shock.
Say something.
There's no words for the mystery?
I think it's a
This is
plot to
real.
a
This is a
great.
thing that happened, and this is real.
This is happening right now, not a thing that's happening.
That is literally what
We're,
just happened.
we're
Just happened.
transitioning. We're transitioning to an unrecorded space where we can apparently miss out on the best TV ever created on Twitter Spaces potentially.
I understand. My brain is. I don't know how to process this information.
Okay.
That's incredible.
What would happen if I told you that somebody showed up and I had an illegitimate child?
I have
But they found
questions.
you out of
Yeah,
the
like what?
universe on Twitter.
Yeah, see, now this is the thing. This is why it's so interesting because I literally, that's why I was like, okay, yesterday I was like, all right, next time I see him, I might ask him because last year I found on, not Twitter, but on Clubhouse, I found the last boy I kissed when I was 17, turning 18 in Colombia. I found like found each other in a space in Clubhouse last year. He lives in Chile and I live in California, and we both knew each other in Colombia. And I was
Hot and cold, California and Chile. Sorry, I had to.
yeah. So that's why I was like, all right, when I see him, I'm gonna ask him because it could be so. It could be that I
So
met the assign in 2018, but it's not. It's not you, right? We came to that conclusion, I think. And for the record, I didn't sleep with that person. It's not my baby, but Hannah did.
well,
I guess what you're saying is the algorithm might be better than any of us have ever recognized.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how the fuck did I end up meeting the person? I'm not revealing my age right now, but this was back in the 90s.
Yeah, you thought Ancestry.com was good, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
well, I do not recall. I've had many a fun night in California. Like everywhere in California. I moved from the East Coast my first visit to the West Coast was in 2008. And I was, by 2010, I lived there. I was like, I ain't going back. And I started in LA and living in LA. My buddy owns a dispensary down there on Venice Beach, who is also one of my very close friends here, and just kept living on the way up to the West Coast and found my way to beautiful Oregon. So I mean, Petaluma, I mean, Frisco, one of, he's good. This is, God is so good and crazy. My life is crazy. It's like a fucking movie. So my buddy goes, all right, man, we're going to go down to the dispensary and have some fun. We're going to stop by and see my buddy. He owns a restaurant in San Francisco. I was like, all right, that's cool. Let's go. And we get down there, and it's literally across the street from like the Agronaut, like the number one fucking restaurant on the fucking bay in San Francisco. We walk in the back door, we're eating fucking oysters, smoking weed in the fucking restaurant. It's just been an amazing, amazing journey, just coming from all the way down by Venice, all the way up here to Oregon, and continually meeting fucking amazing people doing amazing shit. So I wouldn't doubt or put it past me, because I've had a great time. And I would, if God wants to lay it on me, God. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna deny that shit. But I don't care what space we're recorded in. But I don't want to disrespect the Syndicate and finance and seeking funding.
No. It's this. Nobody knows what the Syndicate is until we open up the space, and every day it's different, which is why it's so hard to not do these. Because it's like, hey, what happened yesterday? The same thing that happens today? No, actually, it was completely different and so much better, right? Imagine if we were talking about startups. It'd be boring as fuck. Hate talking about startups. I want to talk about this.
No, we don't. Are you kidding me?
We love talking about startups with a mix of everything. Throw it down.
It's just like, if we could do like 20% startups and 80% paternity tests, I'd be completely fine.
The Springer Finance Show?
Yeah, the Syndicate.
Finance?
Yeah, the Syndicate. Fantastic.
Ruben will read the results for us.
You
All
are
right.
not the father.
I figured out the name, the Syndicate. Good job, everyone.
Oh, there we go.
Well, now that we're back on track, and you have about a shit ton of data to get shipped. Anybody got suggestions? We can stop talking about my
So
my have-nots or haves.
have both. So here's the
Night
I'm a video editor, right? And we just hired a new video editor. And if the video editor was in North America, it'd be a lot easier to share the files. The files which, any given file can be as large as 5 to 20 gigabytes for this e-learning course. And so we hired a new video editor, and that video editor is in Ghana. So the question is, what is the most effective and efficient and affordable solution to share 100 to 250 gigabytes with a video editor in Ghana with as little loss as possible? The one solution we came up with together was, if we know someone that's flying to Ghana, we can give them the hard drive and have it picked up at the airport. But we're open to other solutions as well.
Yeah, because shipping it means that it gets taken away.
You understand. It's like people are like, hey, why did you ship it? Oh, you've never shipped anything overseas. Right? It's one of those things where, especially with electronics and things like that, there's a difference between getting things into a country and getting it out of the port.
It might be worth paying somebody's $800 ticket to send this.
You understand, right? So, right now, like yesterday, I edited and exported 45 minutes, right? So I'm basically doing like a documentary every day and a half to 2 days But the hard part is done, which is the design pattern and the chopping up of the videos and the selecting of the lower thirds, and all that stuff is all done. It just needs to kind of be all stitched together, right? But, I thought about working with them. I'm like, I wonder how expensive it is downloading 7 gigabytes in a CRAW. You know what I mean? That could be, it could be $100.
Well, yeah, because they're whatever you send, they have to download, right?
Exactly. And what if the download fails halfway through? Now they're spending 20 gigabytes to download 5. But if I was able to collaborate with this person, like the other solution that Peter came up with was the ability to create a virtual machine such that they're working on a machine in the cloud. Right? So, yeah, still exploring it. But I would love the ability to interact.
There is such a thing as having your own cloud.
Yeah, it's just I've never explored like what the total cost of ownership of the data transfer is, right? Because it's really
if you create your own cloud and manage your own cloud, I mean that's this
it's based
thing,
on
and then the person can access. Anybody can access your cloud when you open it to them.
Yeah, we have to explore the data plans. So the studio is not opening up, but like when they're moving into the studio as we speak. And so the next step is to figure out what kind of internet plan will work with them, right? I never anticipated that the founder would hire a video editor, but now that we have a video editor, if I can focus on speccing out projects and creating the design patterns and the brief, and then the video editor could do the implementation, then we can get a lot more done, rather than me being the only person who's doing the editing.
Is there a decentralized cloud for Web3 stuff yet?
I mean, if anyone was going to create something like this, Adobe might have already created it. I just have to see how far Adobe Creative Cloud has gotten. You know what I mean?
That just means like isn't that the epitome of what they're talking about? Is not putting everything in the hands, and that's the most important thing, which is storage. Right?
Well, what I'm looking for is real-time collaboration, right? Because what happens when I work on my local machine, it's not the same thing as your local machine as soon as I move a mouse, right? And every time I move my mouse and make a click, we're now using 2 different files, two different projects, right? And so what I'd like to be able to do is create a scenario where whenever I'm editing, we're working on the same thing, right? That's an ideal scenario. I'm okay not to be there right now, but that would be ideal. How do I edit a project with someone else that involves a lot of high quality video in an affordable way?
Avid has that. Avid has a system online that allows you to do all that stuff.
What's the website?
Avid Media Composer. Avid. A long time ago, Avid rolled out sort of a persistent editing, passing around stuff. Now it's all cloud, and Guyana went to work because it's like all, like fiber and a bunch of other shit. But yeah,
isn't the new NVIDIA platform built for this?
Maybe.
Well, does NVIDIA have its own editor? Like, do they have a proprietary editor like Adobe has Premiere?
I think so. But at the same time, if you bring it into a, I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of project management and assets management, not so much trying to heave around the massive data files that Premiere produces. I'm looking at maybe the raw format and how to.
You've identified the core of the challenge. How do we have multiple people work on a project that references the same body of assets without having duplication?
Yeah, no, you're gonna right now. It looks to me like you're all gonna either have to be in the same place, working at the same off the same server, or be satisfied with having everything sort of sharded off.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm okay with that for now, right? Because I know, one day I'm going to wake up and somebody's going to be like, "Oh, I have a solution for that. What is it? Oh, it's this." And then you're like, "Oh, the world opens up." Like remember the first time you used Wombo and it's like, "Oh shit, you mean I can do this anytime I want now?" Oh, well, that changes everything.
Yeah, I got excited about the NVIDIA platform because it looked like potentially something for future projects, but but it crashed my systems right away, and I realized I was going to have a dedicated workstation, and I'm just not there yet.
Well, when I started editing these e-learning videos, I was trying to use motion graphics that my ThinkPad just could not deal with. And so the founder of the company, he bought me an M2 to do this work. And it's astonishing how fast the video it can kick out videos. Like it'll render a 7-minute video in not like 90 seconds,
Oh, I know.
or less.
My M1 was huffing and puffing. I felt like I needed to keep a fire extinguisher close by.
Yes, it gets hot, right?
Yeah,
I gotta get those
heat
heat stickers. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing gets really hot.
So,
They don't put that on the brochure.
I waited to get the new iMac. I have done very little editing in Premiere Pro. So I really can't compare. Most of the stuff that I need is just really basic social media sharing. But I imagine that it is faster than crap.
It shouldn't be this fast. What do you mean you can render a video in less time than the video is length?
Well, yeah,
Huh?
I used to work in all the snack runs, right? For the rendering times, and I'd come back and it'd be 3/4 of the way done, and I'd be halfway through a piece of pie.
Yeah,
But
most of the time in video editing, you're taking a break.
right, and then you're looking and you go, oh, I forgot about that transition
Yeah,
trailing.
and now you have to go back and for one video you export it 9 times, and there
Right.
goes a week.
And if it's a 10-minute video, that's one thing. If it's a 20-minute video, that's another thing. And then you start getting into these documentary subjects where even your raw footage might be 30 minutes or more at a time. You're looking at major overhead.
Yeah, so I was on the ThinkPad struggle bus with this stuff, and then we started looking at, okay, so what machine? And we're looking at this with Jeff, Electronic Yager, and he was like, yeah, you should just get a Mac. And he was right, because we looked at all of these other like supercomputer, right? And it just takes up so much space.
And you can add some glass packs,
Yeah, much ado about nothing,
all that business. But if you just get a Mac, it's kind of,
And by the way, I can take it with me now. Right? What a concept. Taking my computer with me.
It's not like you have to completely load up a whole gearbox, and start looking at the aluminum cases.
Yeah. Hey, what are the rates on your electricity bill? I want to plug in my computer. Can we avoid surge pricing?
It's pretty intense, and one of the things that I keep forgetting is, because I've got all of the stuff working off of this trailer. So I plug it into certain fuses in my house, and everything shuts down. And maybe I'm on the verge of creating some kind of fire situation. But we also have the option of I'm trying to figure out a way to do some sort of undistributed solar here. I don't care about my meter running backwards or any kind of crazy business, just as long as I have my needs met. I'm fine.
Oh man, sorry. I was just doing the project in Adobe Premiere got so big that the Mac ran out of memory. So I'm like, damn it, Mac, you already ran out of memory. So I split everything up into individual labs now because there's 20 labs.
See, I was having to break everything down into segments, even for a 20-minute subject.
Wow.
You know, just for ease of use and
Yes.
being able to turn it around quickly. Because one of the things that I was doing is I was capturing video, running to my editing suite, excuse me, and trying to get it posted by the time everybody got home from the meeting, right? So that they could show their spouses or their friends or whoever cared, you know, about what happened to the meeting.
Yeah, because when you have video, it's like video is a worship of the subject, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so the subjects on camera are always going to want to see it, right?
Immediately. You know, it's like I remember the first time I used Twitter, I was so perplexed. I wasn't sure because I was used to dropping a pebble into the pond and being able to see the ripples, right? You know, you posted something on some forum or something, and then you pressed shift refresh just to make sure it got there. Or, you know, well, take that, you nerds, you know, or or something like that. But with Twitter, you know, unless you had some sort of traction, you did not see any response or ripple to the stone that you dropped into the pond. And so, with video, and especially in a small town, you know, like if say 1/4 of the people who are interested in any particular issue that's come up, when they go home, man, they're going to tune it in right away. You can see that by looking at the Facebook numbers when they do a live feed. It's just, I don't know. I don't like to look at myself on camera. I don't know where the appeal is personally.
I found it was easier to be on camera when I used the Snapchat filter. For whatever reason, I was like, oh, now I can, and it goes back to the idea of like, you know, our personalities get calcified in ways that we don't understand and don't recognize because it becomes
That's cheating. You're cheating when you use a Snapchat filter. You can be any character and go through all your voices. It's a blast, but that's cheating.
Only if you're making yourself look all sexy and all, you know.
Well,
But,
that's what I tried to do.
Just stupid is fine.
Yeah. So, like, honestly, like when I saw Dan do it, I was like, oh, I want to try this. And so I did the assembly AI, you know, speech or motion recognition, whatever. Ahmed helped me set it up with some discussions with Web3 and some other folks. And actually, the assembly AI developer advocate was fucking amazing, actually. Like, these people respond on Twitter. It's great. It's like having real-time technical support by the developers at the company. And so I recorded a video of me just using the thing, and I put on like Tina Turner hair. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, 2 men enter. One Tina comes out.
There can only be one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Well, you know, I prefer I prefer hiding behind the personas because I don't like to get shut down by bad lighting or you know, big nose or some kind of problem that I'm having with my hair or anything like that. And so just Jane Jetson, give me my my makeup filter and I'm ready to go. I actually like, there's something called Deepmotion, and I guess you can get
yeah. Deepmotion is scary. I used it the other day. It works so good. And it works in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm about ready to spill for the pro version. I had to actually step away from it for a month before I mean, I was really ready to take, you know, here, take my money.
Yeah, Deepmotion is scary. So what deep motion is imagine being. You know how there's like UFC games or FIFA soccer games where they put all these sensors on the person's body to capture their micro movements so that the in-game players move like the actual player?
You mean, yeah,
Like, yeah, like
sensory.
they call it motion capture, right?
Yeah.
So the way that they put the dancer, the way that Fortnite will capture the dance moves, right? Well, they'll put they'll bring someone in this expensive studio called a motion capture studio, put a bunch of sensors all over their limbs, and then have those sensors feed the computer and tell the computer what the person's doing in 3D time space, or 4D, I guess, right? So they can recreate that. So the whole point of deep motion is, what if you could do all of that motion capture studio stuff in your own house using your camera? That's what deep motion offers. Motion capture without a motion capture studio.
Right, without the little patches, the little glow patches. So
exactly.
Did it have 3D stuff as well? Like, I mean, grabbing motion's one thing, but
yeah. No, it'll give you a GLB file. It'll take me a little time to dig it up, but I've got a GLB file of me, my avatar at least, within Spatial dancing, and then I have it rendered as an Android style robot with nice tits and the whole everything you want. And so
you had me at robot. Sorry.
Yeah,
right now. Well, I have I reskinned it, just in a T pose as gelatin, and I would love to be able to reskin the animation. I'm not sure how to do that. I'm just figuring out how to reskin things generally. So the minute you have the GLB file, right, or an animated GLB, you've got all kinds of potential for changing stuff.
Just to give you an idea, the GLB file is like a rotatable image. So you know how you have a flat image, a JPEG, a PNG, whatever? Imagine a 3D file, which is a 3D representation of that 2D file, like a shoe. That's the GLB file. And the GLB format of this 3D version of the shoe is so popular that if you have a Shopify store, you can just drag in the GLB file and your customers will be able to rotate the shoe on the Shopify website. And if you take that GLB file into spatial.io, you'll be able to see that 3D shoe rotatable in a 3D space. Go ahead, Pete.
I just want to express the amount of respect I have for Mel. Honestly, like, how do I put it? Just a constant pursuit for like the arts and then all the new stuff that's coming about. It's inspirational in so many ways. And I absolutely have a lot of love for that. I just wanted to throw that out there. Well, meanwhile, I'm going to go back to working on my projects.
You'll have to forgive Pete. He's very much single, so we're trying to hook him up.
Yeah. But
it's not even that.
No,
I just have to acknowledge it because I let these things go by sometimes and I don't acknowledge it. And
Peter is the down under Matthew McConaughey. He does the roofing with his shirt off.
Oh fuck! Get my bongos out. I mean, the shit's about to get real.
Deep motion for me.
I'm thinking about doing that. I'm going to use that as stimulus today. I'm just going to do naked roofer for the rest of the day and see what kind of art we can come up with.
We should welcome these listeners down here. Just jammed out of there. What's up, Swag Gang?
All right, sorry, I just have to clip that. 90-day AI fiance, is that like, what do you bring to the marriage? Oh, I bring AI art. What do? I bring marketing. Together.
So, yeah, that's a funny thing that you mentioned. Uh, I try to get my husband to work with me, and do stuff. He does a lot of video. He's been the arts and entertainment editor for the local paper for the last 25 years, and he's retired now. And we've got this entity called Romancito House Media, but he just really gets annoyed when I play up what I figure are some of his meme-worthy pursuits of the past. Like, there's a cult movie with David Warner. Do you know who David Warner is? He passed away recently. He played the Kardashian in the Star Trek, the Next Generation, the one with the 5 lights or the 4 lights. So he's this real famous British guy. Anyway, Rick was in a movie with him. He's got the first 5 minutes. Rick's one line in the movie has turned into a meme that Bart Simpson said from the Treehouse of Horror. There's just a lot of stuff about Rick and his Shrek layers. But damn, I tell you, when you talk about stuff, bringing stuff to the marriage, he's my filter. He's my censor.
I still have hopes that I'll find my censor. Find the filter I want to use every day. Get in deep motion with him.
And by the way, I just want to say Mr. Warner was also in The Titanic, The Omen, Time After Time, Tron, Time Bandits, The Ballad of Cable Hogue, Cross of the Tide.
What's Tron?
Yes.
Dude, come on.
So the movie that Rick was in is Nightwing, which is the one about vampire bats in the Southwest. And Rick is the little Navajo kid who's flinging all the flies away with a Navajo blanket, and everybody, like the sheriff showed up and stuff. There's cows and horses laying in the corral, and they've been bled dry, and there's they're saying zebras, and Rick is saying, his character is saying, hey, it was coyotes. And so that's always the response when we get whipped up into all kinds of imaginative solutions or answers to what that question might be. It was coyotes is the easiest response. Of course, it's wrong.
You know what, guys? I hate to do this. We have a call with Ghana coming up.
So much.
Yeah.
Syndicate, disperse.
Well, hold on. We can't disperse. We have to figure out if the assigned has an unassigned to be assigned.
Oh.
Mel, if you have another 15 minutes, maybe just have an unrecorded space.
Should I open this?
Yeah, get it going.
Get it going,
Should I
Mel,
open
so we
this,
can make it
please?
hot. Yeah, it's
All right,
kind of
guys.
hot though. It's
I'll
got to
talk
be
to you
hot
soon.
space.
I'll jump in the background. I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, I'll